Welcome to your Journey to Joy podcast. I'm your host, Moira Gorski, and I'm on a mission to help you find joy in the chaos of life. As a retired nurse, multi-passionate entrepreneur, and mom of 4 adult children, I know what it's like to feel the overwhelm of it all and wonder if and when the joy will show up again. And I've learned it's up to us to go find that joy. On this show, you will hear inspiring stories from those who have overcome all kinds of life challenges, tips on how to stay healthy and vibrant during the ups and downs of life, and simple ways on finding joy in your own life. Let's face it, life is messy, yet when we travel together on this journey, support and encourage each other along the way, that joy starts to show up again. I'm so excited to lead you on this journey of you to find the joyful life that you deserve. Well, we are jumping right into cold and flu season here. So did you know that having an attitude of gratitude can help you build a stronger immune system? It's true. So I'm your host, Moira Gorski. Welcome to another podcast episode, Your Journey to Joy. I'm all about helping you find joy in the chaos and busyness of life and also find the gratitude. And the weather's turning here, although, man, we have been blessed with such good, wonderful weather around here. I mean, it's the beginning of November and we've certainly haven't pulled out any boots and we haven't pulled out any hats and gloves and things like that. So, but it is, as people would say, it's getting to be that cold and flu season. And a lot of times, what happens is that people start to get sick kind of after, it's almost like it's after Halloween. And it just kind of goes downhill from there into the holidays. So today I just want to do a brief episode for all of you to really talk about exploring how gratitude can impact your immune health. And this is the month of November that I'm recording this and that we'll be posting. And it's, the month where we have Thanksgiving coming up. And so we are really going to be focusing on gratitude. But so I really want to emphasize that, but give you some really practical tips on things that you can do as you practice that attitude of gratitude to really keep your immune system strong so that you can get through this season and other seasons with ease and with really vibrant health, which is what I'm all about. Sometimes one of my children has told me that sometimes I'm a little too positive, but, that's what I stick with. I decide to be positive and to look at the good side of things. It's been a work in progress throughout the years of my life, but really looking at finding the good and being positive as we get through each day. And again, my kids will also say that when they, tell me something, they fill me in on something, I often say, excellent, which is really what I do. But it's just that positive attitude and having that positivity and just being grateful for what we have and what I have. Certainly the last couple of years, the last 9 years with our daughter being in a really compromised state with her eating disorder and her health, there were days that it was hard to be grateful for all of that. And yet I can look back now that she is actually working in a facility, which is an inpatient treatment facility, which is similar to places that she stayed at. And she's giving back. She is using all of that, those struggles that she went through, to give back to others and to help them. I mean, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that she went through. I'm grateful for that, for those struggles that I went through, because I learned that I need to take care of myself. I need to put my oxygen mask on first. I need to get myself to the health club in the morning and go for a walk and drink my lemon water. Those are all things that I get to do. And when I do that, I learned that through the struggles, and I'm grateful for that. Even this last year has been a year. It's been a little over a year since I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was not a diagnosis that I ever expected that I would deal with. But I'm telling you, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that diagnosis. I'm grateful for what I've learned this last year. It puts me in a better place of health and vibrancy and really being passionate about helping you and people like you that are listening really know that there are some things we can't control, but there are a lot of things that we can. So let's dive into the episode today. Let's talk about, first of all, the power of gratitude on immune health. Again, there is some research behind it that there is, again, when we're grateful, when we're positive, that we can have a stronger mental and physical health. There was, to the point that it lowers stress levels, increases immune resilience, and lowers inflammation. There was a study that was out of University of California, San Diego, which found that people who practice gratitude experience improved heart health and lower levels of stress hormones. That's good. Again, we want to, I've certainly learned firsthand that when we are under stress, we do increase our cortisol production. And when we increase our cortisol productions, our blood sugar tends to get impacted and raise. So again, just being grateful imagine that. It can have an impact and help to pull down your inflammation and lower that production of the stress hormone. So just, tips that you can do to be grateful. Start your day with a gratitude practice. When you get out of bed, grab your cup of tea, cup of coffee. I start my day with warm lemon water. I really suggest that. But sit down and grab a notebook and write a few things that you're grateful for. Make a list of 10, make a list of 3, but sit down and be grateful. Spend some time being grateful for what you have, sitting and reflecting on that gratitude. Many times, like even today when I took Ruby, our dog, for a walk, I looked around. I didn't put my earbuds in. I didn't listen to music. I just looked around and looked at the beauty of the day. It's really a beautiful day here today with the sun shining. And I happened upon this tree that I just looked at this kind of hole that was in the tree and just the rings and rings and rings. You know how trees have rings. It was just so cool. I was like, wow. Again, sometimes we miss those things that when we're so busy and we don't take time for walks or those gratitude walks. I've often taken walks and just, again, looked around. If you've been following me, you know that we moved to this area at the end of July, and I am so grateful for beautiful mornings. I'm so grateful for all these trees. Now, we spend an awful lot of time picking up our leaves around here, more so than in our other house. But again, so grateful for the beauty here. So just do that. Again, take some time, sit down in the morning to do some journaling, take a walk, and even outwardly say, the things that you're grateful for. Maybe even simple affirmations like, I am happy, I'm healthy, I'm free, I'm going to have a great day, those kind of things. So those are just simple things that you can do each day. That, again, may not for you seem to be much, but they can really, I'm here to say that they can really have an impact on your immune health. And so what's some other ways that we can boost our immunities? I want to give you, again, like I said in the beginning, some practical tips. And there's things around nutrition, there's things around exercise, sleep, stress relief, hydration, and things that I want to go through as well. So let's think about nutrition. It's really the foundation for immune health. And also, our gut health, there is so much immunity that is wrapped in our gut. So we really want to make sure that we are feeding ourselves with good food and taking some key nutrients supplementation wise, but really just emphasizing that we want to have a diet that's rich in whole foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins. And when we think about immunity, think about things, the vitamins that boost our immunity. They're vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and zinc. Those are especially helpful for immunity. So if we're looking at choosing certain foods, we can pick the citrus foods like the lemon, like the oranges, the pomegranates, the berries. Oh, there's just wonderful, raspberries and blackberries and lots of leafy greens. If it's in our salads, if it's arugula, if it's kale, things like that. Nuts and seeds are also really great forms of protein for us and healthy fats, and lean meats like chicken and fish. Now, I tend to be much more plant-based, so I do eat some fish. I eat more Mediterranean these days than strict vegetarian. But you can also find things, again, you can get that protein with tofu, with beans, chickpeas, beans and things like that. We also want to think about antioxidants and phytochemicals. These are things that are found in berries and those dark leafy greens, and they really help us combat oxidative stress. And that oxidative stress is a real contributor to chronic diseases. So oxidative stress is when our cells, our bodies come under stress, but it's the cell's reaction to that stress. So we really want to, again, look at foods that are filled with garlic, turmeric, ginger. These have really wonderful immune boosting products due to their anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds. Now, if you are looking for some recipes, certainly reach out to me, but you can Google, you can go to ChatGPT and say, give me some good turmeric recipes. Even just adding the garlic and the onions to your stir fried vegetables and things like that. You can take turmeric and ginger and you can put it in your blender and you can make it, put those in your smoothies. I really like to have you ever had like a warm turmeric milk? Oh, it's so lovely to have in the evening before you go to bed. And then, like I mentioned in the beginning of this nutrition section, gut health. We really want to make sure that our gut microbiome is healthy, and there's lots of it in there because, they're saying that 70% of the immune cells reside in our gut. So making sure that there's a good, healthy gut microbiome there. So how are we going to do that? We're going to add probiotics and fiber. So lots of fiber. You can get those by eating lots of fruits. Well, mostly, vegetables and the whole grains. They really help to support the gut health. But you can, add a probiotic. I love the Shaklee probiotic, the Optiflora product. But you can, eat things like yogurt, kefir, just, watch the sugar content in those. That's why I do recommend a daily probiotic because there's sometimes so much sugar and food colorings and things like that in yogurt and kefir. But you can also eat some fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, things like that. And again, those fiber-rich foods like vegetables, just think about roasting up. I like at the beginning of the week to roast up a big pan of broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, Brussels sprouts, and things like that. You can roast up a big pan of that with a little bit of avocado oil, maybe some salt and pepper, some other spices that you have. And then you have it in your fridge that you can dive in and grab it for a snack or heat it up for a meal. So that's your nutrition that can really help with boosting your immunity. So let's talk about exercise. I have learned over the years, and I've really changed things over the year, that I'm not so much a cardio queen and looking to really, kill it at the gym with lots of cardio and jumping up and down and running, boxing and things like that, because I learned that causes a lot of stress. So again, when you're younger, those things can be really beneficial for you, just to kind of get your energy out and things like that. But as you get older, it's really better to find the strength training, the walking, even if it's, again, vigorous walking. It's really much more the choices that you should be making in regards to exercise. But, really moderate, regular exercise boosts the circulation of your immune cells. It boosts our circulations. It gets things moving. We get moving and the things on the inside get moving. So it really helps the body. If there's some pathogens or things like that not healthy cells, that circulation really helps to, our body detect and defend against those pathogens much more effectively. So again, we can go out there and take a walk for 20 to 30 minutes a day. Many of us have dogs, so that's a perfect time to go out and take a walk. Swimming, cycling, again, the weightlifting. It just is so helpful to just be up there and moving. We tend to be a society of much more sedentary in that we're sitting and working and things like that. But, I've seen people have walking desks and, just even this idea that setting an alarm to get up and go jump on your rebounder for 10 minutes, something like that throughout the day. It's a good way to keep things moving. But again, we want to make sure that we're having that moderate exercise, but really that intense and prolonged exercise can really temporarily weaken your immune system. I remember when I was running marathons years ago, oftentimes, you're going through months and months of training, so that you can get out there and run 26.2 miles. Crazy. But I loved those days. And I found that oftentimes, I was learning as I was going. I had been introduced to Shaklee and more nutrition kind of in the midst of my journey of running marathons. And so I learned that if I took, I would tell people, and I learned that, garbage in, garbage out, which means like what we're eating, if we're putting garbage in, then we're exerting garbage. We just don't have the right strength and stamina. But it was also like, because we were training and doing, really excessive exercising, if you will, we were burning through our cells more quickly. And so it was really imperative, and I learned that, to really take more and more of those essential nutrients so that I had a really strong foundation as I was, burning through those cells. But so often I would find that we would get towards the end of our training and we would start to taper, which, you're not doing as much running the week or so before your race, just to kind of taper down so that your body kind of rests a little bit. But so many people during that taper, they would start to get sick because they hadn't nourished their immunity, and they had been just doing, we'd really been working hard during those several months, and their immune system was weaker. So we want to make sure that it's moderate exercise, that it's just really not too much intense, prolonged exercise, because that can weaken your immune system. But you know what? Exercise also reduces our stress, which has a positive impact on our immune health by lowering those cortisol levels. My son was in town this weekend, and he was talking about being a little bit stressed out. And his wife said, "Did you work out this week?" And he was talking about the times they had worked out. And he says, "I don't know, this time it didn't really help with my stress." So, but most of the time, getting out and getting to the gym and doing some exercise can really help to lower your stress levels. So number 3 here, and other ways to boost your immunity, is sleep. Sleep is our body's natural way of repairing itself. So it's so important to get quality sleep so that our body can repair and rejuvenate itself. When we have really good deep sleep, our immune system releases the cytokines, which are proteins that target infection and inflammation. And if we're not really getting that deep sleep or getting that extended sleep, we're, gypping ourselves of, that repair and rejuvenation that our body can do on its own if we get to bed. They say that, we should aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night to ensure that your immune system functions properly and optimally. I mean, I struggle with that. I tend to be somebody that I get up early in the morning. I mean, this morning I just woke up on my own at about 10 minutes to 6 a.m. and I decided to get up. But sometimes I don't go to bed early enough, and that's part of my issue, that I don't get as long of sleep. So I've been working on that, trying to get to bed and get reading. And sometimes I get reading my book, and then before you know it, it's, I've read for 45 minutes and I should have turned my light off earlier. So, but again, getting that sleep, so important. What I do recommend is keeping that consistent schedule. So if it, in that routine, so maybe it is, reducing the light in your room, turn off the overhead lights and have a little light next to your bed. Just have the same routine. Wash your face, brush your teeth, put your lotion on, perhaps having some calming tea before bed. And sometimes, you can, if you're feeling extra anxious before bed, is just put your headphones on and go to Insight Timer and find a quick meditation, like a sleep meditation. You find it in, they're all sectioned off there in Insight Timer. But just finding a quick 10, 15-minute relaxation. There's Yoga Nidra for sleep. If you're feeling like you need a little extra help getting to sleep, go and find that meditation there. So stress, let's talk about that stress. Again, chronic stress can really have an impact on your immune health. I do truly believe that a big cause of my cancer was that stress over time, that chronic stress that continued to impact my immune health. And I just wasn't paying close enough attention to that. And also, sugar and things like that, and wine that I tended to go to when I was under stress really wasn't helping things. So again, that chronic stress can really suppress our immune system over time. It increases that cortisol, that weakens our body's defenses. And it also, again, will really has an impact on our blood sugar. So what can we do? I kind of talked about some of this earlier, but we can practice our meditation and journaling, having a little bit of yoga. You can do yoga at home. You can go on YouTube and find a quick yoga. Or if you want to be around people, or if you need that accountability, find a yoga studio around you. We have some lovely yoga studios around here. And, look at yoga as a form of relaxation. Sometimes there can be, strength ones and things like that you're building strength. But there are so many yoga places where you can find a restorative yoga that's just so lovely to help you relax at the end of the day. Even just sitting, again, if you're finding that you're extra stressed, just slowing down and sitting for 5 to 10 minutes with intentional breathing. Can you do that? Just breathe in and breathe out and count to 10 with that. It's amazing. Just counting to 10, doing 10 deep breaths can have an amazing impact on how you're feeling about stress. And I really can't emphasize enough social connections. We have gone through this pandemic a few years ago where people have gotten more and more isolated. And sometimes they're now anxious to get out and interact with people. But that social connection, the social interaction is so helpful, and it boosts our immunity because we're not feeling so stressed. We're not feeling so lonely and isolated. So make sure within your day and within your week, you're having those social connections, even if it's, as simple as going to the grocery store and saying hello to the clerk and just making sure that you're getting out and getting around people and having that interaction. Okay, a couple more things here. So hydration, we want to make sure that we have lots and lots of good hydration. Water is just crucial because, as I talked a little bit earlier about, circulation and things like that, the water transports nutrients to the cells, it flushes out toxins, and it really ensures that things are working effectively, like digestion, like our circulation. So we want to make sure that we have lots of fluids. I mean, you may be, spending some more time in the bathroom, but it's so important to hydrate ourselves and looking at pure, clean, filtered water. Don't be drinking lots of coffee and saying, "Hey, I'm getting hydrated," because caffeine certainly it does not help with, why can't I get the word? But we want to make sure that it's water. And it can be water, again, with lemon. It's recommended that we drink at least half of our body weight in ounces in water per day as a general rule. So say if somebody's 150 pounds, you should aim for 75 ounces. I tend to drink lots of water in the morning. I go and work out. I get up and have my lemon water. I go and work out, fill up the water bottle, and get through that a couple of times in my workout and afterwards. And then sometimes I slack off. So I'm working on that for the afternoon. But you can also look at hydrating foods that you're eating. Cucumbers, watermelon, oranges. These are very, very hydrating because they're filled with lots of water. So think about that too as you're making your food choices and your snack choices. Cut up some cucumbers or watermelon if it's in season and have some oranges, and that will really help with your hydration. And then let's talk about some harmful habits that can really, when we avoid them, we can reduce the risk of chronic disease. Some of these things I wasn't really that aware of so much, and some of them, I was, but certainly sugar. I really believe that that's why when we start with Halloween and go into Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, there's so much more sugar with candy, with sweet treats come into the office, alcohol, going out and celebrating, going to parties and things like that. And that sugar is just, again, it's harmful to our immune system because it keeps our blood sugar levels high. And it's not good. And the cancer cells love to eat glucose. So we want to give our bodies less and less sugar. Again, if you're looking for some better sweet treats that don't have the refined sugar, reach out to me. I've got some really cool recipes, and I'm working on an exciting book, a cookbook of sorts, coming in 2025. So if you need some recipes, I've been working on those. But also processed foods. There is so much talk about charcuterie boards, and I was a huge fan of those, but I'm not so much anymore because that processed meats is just not good. All of, the salamis and the meats and the lunch meats and things like that, they really have been proven to be carcinogenic, and all of the things that they contain. So I'm sorry, charcuterie fans, I really recommend that you take that out of your diet. But even just processed foods, anything in a box, anything in a can. I think it's hard sometimes to get away from the canned stuff, but certainly processed foods, things in a box, and picking up fast foods and things. Let's try to avoid those because that really causes inflammation and it weakens our immunity. And then reducing alcohol and tobacco use. Certainly we know that avoiding tobacco is a good idea, but I've learned throughout this year, and if you've listened to my podcast, I really have decided to stop drinking because there's such a strong correlation between alcohol consumption and women with breast cancer that I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be done drinking. And really, at the end of the day, what I found is that when I was drinking, say I come home after a dance class or something, or the end of the day and watching TV and I pour myself a glass of wine, it usually then led to kind of just, reckless eating. I'd want something sweet. So I'd grab the cookies or the M&Ms or something else that was here that tended to be, sweeter. And so it was, the alcohol wasn't good. It had lots of sugar in it, but then it also led to consumption of other things and I realized that I could get the same type of, I like to relax in the evening, like we talked about, like before I go to bed. I can get that same. What I did was instead of wine, I now have tea. I have tea almost every night, but it's just part of that routine that, it's about 9:00. It's about 9:15. I'm going to pour myself a nice warm cup of tea and start that routine to get to bed. So again, there are mocktails. There are so many great teas and things that we can look at replacing that alcohol with, that you can still have some wonderful enjoyment with that. So I just definitely recommend looking into reducing your alcohol usage and just, at least minimizing it, because it really has a negative impact on our immune system, and it really increases because it's, they're known carcinogens. Alcohol and tobacco are known carcinogens. They really increase the risk of chronic diseases. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that's helpful. Again, starting with being grateful and how that can be such a wonderful boost to your immune system, and just covering these elements of nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress management, hydration, and avoiding our harmful habits can really help to strengthen our immune system and lower the risk of chronic disease naturally. I mean, these are important things for us to keep in mind, and really, I want to encourage you to think about it. Take some time to maybe pick a couple of these that you know that you need to work on, and commit to it. Say, hey, I'm going to work on my sleep this month, or I'm going to work on my hydration this week. Pick one or two of them. Sometimes if we pick too many things, it's too overwhelming. But pick one or two and work on that, because we can take control over our health. There's some, like I said at the beginning, there's some things that we can't control, but there are certainly a lot of things that we can. And I'm here to tell you that I'm here to walk alongside with you and be your biggest cheerleader to say, you can do these things because I'm doing them, and I want you to do them right alongside with me so that we can really enjoy our life. We can have a positive impact on ourselves as well as the world around us, and really live our best lives, vibrant, aging well, and thriving. That's what I'm all about, and that's what I'm here to encourage you to do and then really empower you to do. So thanks for listening to this episode today. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please let me know by responding back and sending me a message on social, and also send it, rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to it, whatever place that you're finding this podcast, and also share it with your friends, because it is the biggest gift that you can give to me, is to share my podcast with other people. So make it a great day. Make your journey to joy all about the journey of you. Again, say yes to you, and know that I'm here cheering you on, and we'll catch you next time. Hey there, ready to live a more joyful life? Considering connecting with someone who can help you? If so, I'd like to be that person. I offer a free consultation where we determine where the chaos is in your life and how you can learn to bring more joy each and every day. Visit my website, moiragorsky.com, or simply email me, moira@moiragorsky.com, with more joy in the subject line. I look forward to connecting, and I'm here to say there will always be some chaos, which requires a little juggling, but you can find joy and live your life intentionally filled with that joy. Let me help you on your journey to joy. And that's joy, the journey of you.